my Dorks, Nerds, Geeks, and Gamers. It's your host, Ghost here, and you're watching a brand new episode of Dorks Movie Minute. Today we're going to be talking about Dexter New Blood, episodes 9 and 10. These are the last two episodes of the series that I have to cover, because we looked at all the other episodes until this point, until now. Starting with episode 9, we're going to hop right in. Dexter New Blood, episode 9, called The Family Business. This one is basically the episode where we get to see Dexter tell Harrison about his past, that he actually admits he is a serial killer, and why he does what he does, and kind of the psychological reasons why that make Dexter the character he is. He's not a bad guy, he's not a good guy, he's an anti-hero, 100% an anti-hero. But we start this episode off with Dexter hunting down this clown, and it is in Miami, so it feels very much like the original series did, which is very impressive. I gotta say, out of all the episodes so far, this one has been my favorite, just because of the homages to the original Dexter series. But he's hunting down this clown called Mr. Wiggles, who is apparently a child predator or rape, R-word, or a murderer, stuff like that. But they don't get too graphic with it. We just know that he has children victims, and he is a clown that Dexter is after in Miami. So it's very cool to start the series off with him back in Miami, a throwback to the original Dexter. And it feels very much like the original. Dexter has his quips, he's got this red nose on, he flicks off, and he's searching for Mr. Wiggles. He's got all his regular jokes that he would normally have, and you can hear that dark passenger, talking back to him and forth in his head like he would always do in the old days. So he's basically telling this story to Harrison, trying to explain to him why he does what he does. But the difference is he's painting himself in a good light, like a hero, and he's leaving out the parts where he does kill Mr. Wiggles. He's leaving all that stuff out. But it's not just him doing it; it's Deb and his subconscious kind of doing it. Well, it's not Deb; it's still him. It's all 100% him. But he's having this argument in his head as he's telling the story with Deb, who we know is a figment of his own id and imagination and all this stuff. So he's actually having an argument with himself on how far he wants to tell this story to Harrison, and if he does want to admit that he is a serial killer to his own son and stuff like that. So it's a very intriguing debate in his head, and he lands on, you know what, I'm not going to tell him I'm a killer. I'm just going to tell him that I made this bad guy disappear or whatever, and he stopped doing it. Yeah. Okay, so then basically we have Angela, who is looking into the Bay Harbor Butcher, because she saw the needle marks of the last episode and all this. So yeah, she's still looking for this guy. Dexter and Harrison are kind of together for Christmas for the first time. This is the first time you kind of see them bond together. And Dexter ends up buying Harrison a rifle, which turns out to be a major thing in the final episode of the series. But yeah, Harrison gets a rifle, and he takes it out shooting, and he's basically a crack shot at it, and he's just blam, 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 blasting all these bottles. And Dexter's like, okay, well, good thing I bought you the rifle because you're a natural at it. Dexter tells Harrison about Kurt. He warns, because he's trying to warn him, because Kurt is now working at the truck stop and trying to get closer to Kurt. Dexter tells Harrison that Kurt is a serial killer, and he's been doing it for 25 years, and that he's been watching him, and that he needs to stay away from this. And basically, Harrison agrees, but he says, if you want me to stay away from him, you got to tell me the truth about you, because if he's lying to me, then I don't know if you're lying to me, and I don't know if everyone's lying to me. So Dexter's like, fine, I will tell you the truth about everything, and that's when Dexter does tell him, yes, he killed Mr. Wiggles, and that he's done this before many times, but he does it for the right reasons. He's a serial killer that kills other serial killers. And then Harrison kind of believes him on that end. So then Harrison wants to basically test his father to see how true that actually is. So Harrison says maybe we should go after Kurt for what he's done and all this. And so Dexter's like, sure, whatever. So they agreed to take on Kurt. That's when Dexter takes Harrison to Kurt's lair, or his trophy room, if you want to call it. And that's where they see all the different the females that Kurt has been stealing all these years and putting them and killed them and put them in the trophy room. And that's when Harrison basically decides, yes, we do need to kill Kurt. This needs to end here. And that's just how it is. So Kurt then sees there's a camera in the trophy room as Dexter and Harrison are going down it. And that alerts Kurt that they're there. So then Kurt rushes over there. He ends up getting captured. Kurt gets put on the kill table. And That's basically where Dexter and Harrison do the Dexter thing. They put all the plastic down. Dexter kills Kurt with a knife. But we're led to believe that Harrison's down with this all the way through, except when the blood starts to come down to his legs, and you can see it come down the table and towards his legs. You see that Harrison definitely changed his mind, and he does not have the darkness that Dexter has in him. So he definitely changed his mind right away, right off the bat. He no longer wants to do this. He feels a little bit sick to his stomach about it. Especially seeing Dexter chop up Kurt's body and do what the Bay Harbor Butcher does, and so yeah, that definitely changed his mind on his father's view. But they don't really touch upon it until the very last episode. But yeah, I give episode 9, The Family Business, a 10 out of 10. Very solid episode. I loved Dexter opening up to Harrison after all this time, and I loved Harrison having this internal conflict of, is he a monster like his father? Is he not? And then he ultimately decides, no, they're nothing alike. They thought they were, but they're completely opposites of each other. So he decides to really go the opposite way that Dexter went. So yeah, 10 out of 10 episode. Definitely enjoyed that one 100%. And it sets up pretty well for what the finale was supposed to be, but the finale does not deliver, unfortunately. So hopping right into that, Dexter New Blood episode 10, Sins of the Father, the final episode of Dexter we're ever going to see, we're ever going to have, maybe, we'll see. But this is the grand finale of Dexter New Blood. We start off with Angela questioning Dexter about the house fire, which I forgot to say at the end of the last episode. Kurt shows up, and before they capture him, put him on the kill table, he burns down Dexter's house, and which leads to Angela finding the pin from the surgery in Kurt's son's leg. So that leads her to believing that Dexter's connected to all this and everything else. But there's a loophole we got to talk here about here in this final episode, which I haven't seen anyone on the internet bring up yet, which really confuses me, because it was very, very poignant to me on why this finale failed compared to the original run we got. So Angela is questioning Dexter about the house fire. Dexter says, I know nothing about it. Me and Harrison were out all night shooting the rifle, which is reasonable because they literally were. They were out away from the house all night long. There's no way to prove that they weren't. So yeah, Angela finds Matt's leg screw in the ashes. She starts to piece it together. She goes back to the police station. Oh, Bay Harbor Butcher, blah, 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 and all this. So then she eventually they have Christmas together, and she arrests Dexter at her house and takes him down to the station. At this point, Dexter and the male officer who works there as well, I forgot his name, but he's kind of at odds with Angela because he doesn't believe that Dexter's guilty. She does, so they're two officers, good cop, bad cop going on. All while Dexter's being questioned, and she's being really rude with it. She's like, "You're the Bay Harbor Butcher. I know this. I know that. You're on camera. You got to talk about this and that and blah blah blah." And Dexter basically is like, "Look, why don't you look into Kurt? I can tell you where his trophy room is. We found all his victims. You can go there and you'll believe me." So that's what she does. She goes and checks it out. But here's where the loophole comes in. Okay, guys, so listen to this. So we saw in episode 7 or 8, where Harrison was given an envelope with Matt's screws in them from Kurt. Okay, remember that? And he was told to give it to Dexter. So we already have one witness in Harrison being told to give this to his father, and his father not knowing what's inside, being Matt's screws. Okay, here's the loophole. When Angela says, "Do you have anything to do with this?" all Dexter had to say is this: "Kurt set me up. Kurt burned down my house. Kurt's the one that gave me Matt's screw to tie me to this other one, and that's how did this screw get in your house? Kurt blackmailed me, gave this to my son, and told me to hold on to it. I have no idea what it is. What is it? Oh, it's a screw to his son's leg. Well, why did Kurt murder his son, and now why is he trying to blame me for it?" Simple as pie. Done. Dexter is out of the cuffs. No problems. No longer in jail. No reason for the finale that we got. That's it. That was the loophole. All he had to do was tell Angela, "Kurt threatened me with this envelope. Here's Harrison to prove that he handed it to me." Done. There's no court case. There's no questions asked. It's night and day, closed book case. Done. Kurt's a murderer. We have all his bodies proven, and now he's not capable of threatening Dexter. What is this? This doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But instead, we go down this rabbit hole. So we get Dexter, who's in this jail cell. He's going back and forth, trying to figure out, trying to lead Angela down one direction. She's refusing to believe him. He ends up snapping and killing the male cop that's in the cell with him, which was totally out of character for Dexter, 100% out of character, at least in my opinion, because he's much smarter than that. Like I said, all he had to say was that that envelope came from Kurt, which ties him to nothing. That's all he had to do. That's it. And that would have solved the whole series finale. Done. She would have said, "Is this true, Harrison? Did you really get this from Kurt?" "Yeah, I did. He sent some strange guy to give it to me to give to my dad because he was threatening him." "Oh. Case closed. Done." But they didn't go down that route. So he kills this coach. Harrison gets all mad that he killed his coach. So Harrison pulls out his rifle. And Dexter's trying to get him to get the truck loaded up. "We're going to run away together. We're going to get out of this. We're going to be okay." Harrison finally changes his mind from last episode where he realizes he's nothing like his dad. He pulls out his rifle and he shoots and kills Dexter right there on the spot. Angela sees it, and Angela all of a sudden, once again, her as well, changes characters, flip-flops like nothing happened. And now she's no longer about justice, and now she's all about vigilantism. So she says, "Oh, here's some money. Get out of here. Take your truck. He was an evil person. He had to die anyway." What is going on here? What just happened in the series finale? You've built up this road to what could have potentially been a 10 out of 10 finale, amazing ending for this whole series, and then within 2 seconds you took a pothole and you just ripped the whole plot open, and that was it, and ruined all of it. So yeah, very disappointed in this episode. I'm very disappointed in the way it ended. Harrison gets away. No consequences for Harrison whatsoever, even though he's the one that basically stirred up everything in this series for Dexter to deal with to begin with. So yeah, screwed everything up from the get-go. So yeah, that's my opinions. I'm going to give this a solid 6 out of 10 for the finale. Did not enjoy it at all, but compared to the 10 out of 10 episode that episode 9 was, and then a 6 out of 10 finale that we got, very disappointed on the way this ended. I wish there was another way they can go back and fix this for a third time, but I don't see that happening ever. But yeah, that's just my opinions, guys. I give this one a 6 out of 10 for episode 10 and a 10 out of 10 for episode 9. Hope you guys enjoyed this review of Dexter New Blood, and if you haven't seen the other episode reviews, check out episodes 1 through 8 up above as well, because we've talked about the whole series at this point now. But yeah, it could have been a great ending. They fumbled it with that cliff they had that loophole that they couldn't seal up and they couldn't fix. It would have been a very easy fix to do, but they just decided to sidestep it and ignore it altogether and go with some other direction that we thought we didn't see coming. But sometimes when we don't see things coming, it's because it's dumb. It doesn't make sense. So that's just my opinions. But let me know down below what you guys thought of Dexter New Blood episodes 9 and 10. Did you enjoy the way the series ended or not? And do you understand that loophole I was talking about with him just explaining, hey, this leg piece got delivered to me from someone else. I didn't find it. I didn't get it out. But his fingerprints aren't at this point. But I mean, I'm sure he could send in the envelope and have it fingerprinted for whoever touched the envelope before him. So yeah, that would have led to the other guy, which would have led to him being dead, which would have led to them thinking Kurt killed him, which would have led to everything leading to Kurt. So that's what I don't get. But that's just my thoughts, guys. Let me know down below what you guys think of Dexter New Blood. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. And as always, keep it right here on Dorkston. I've been your host, Ghost. Adios.